Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Connection with the weekly comic book roundup. The weekly comic book roundup. We've covered this week's Marvel books, so now on to this week's competition. Kicking things off, we've got I Am Batman #1. This is actually a book we got two copies of. Two really good variant covers. I dug them both, so I got them both. Anyway, what we're going to talk about I Am Batman #0. Jace Fox made an attempt at made his first appearance as Batman, and sadly kind of bungled things a little bit. He managed to escape, but still, he made things a little worse between the GCPD, the GCPD, the magistrate, and the residents of Alleytown. So the issue begins. Jace kind of thinking about, basically going into the fact that the mask he wears is a mask with bright eyes and an accommodating smile wrapped in miles of charisma and sincerity. Sincerity is the key. If you can fake sincerity, you can win anyone over. But he explains there's only one person you need to impress: his father. And it seems to be working. But he's redesigned. He's got a new bat suit, which is a little bit similar to the classic suit. It's explained that the vest is made with a layer of non-Newtonian fluid, less than 1/3 the thickness of Kevlar, but still level 3A stopping power. Gauntlets are all made of graphite, lightweight, but 200 times stronger than steel. Extendable tethered batons are loaded into the underside. The callous faceplate is made with a military-grade biohazard filter, which should help if and when the fear bomb goes off. Utility belts mostly just filled with burner phones. And Vol asks if Jace is sure he doesn't want better tech, but Jace explains that the more tech he has, the easier it is for the magistrate to track him. And he's planning to be around for a while. So, and Vol asks, what about the other toys, And Jace says his batarangs, a grappling gun, I don't know how to use a grappling gun. But the whole thing with Sears really got Jace thinking that, yeah, the city Gotham needs a symbol. So he rides out into Gotham on a motorcycle. And Whitaker and her partner are looking at everything going on with the magistrate and everything else, but things are not going well. Batman rides up on some kids tagging a wall. Tells them, hey, sick tags, but respect other people's property. You can find someplace else to throw them up. But he stops a joyrider. Not so much a joyrider. He manages to stop a reckless driver. We'll put it that way. And it's kind of maybe the reckless driver kind of makes him think of himself, because that was kind of where his legal troubles stemmed from. Tells the kid to be smart and turn himself in, because, well, everyone's just been filming what happened, so yeah. But in Alleytown, Jace makes yet another appearance as Batman. Um, a couple of guys bought into Sears BS and considers to be at war with the government, and well, their arm go the distance. So Jace takes him down. And the cops they were firing upon are still in support of the mass, just, quietly. And Jay says, hey, let the ones that know, let the ones who are down know, yeah, Batman's around. But Volva passes on some information on the owner of the warehouse where the bodies were found in number 0, Vince Farrell. And Jason has to deal with him, explaining that him and Farrell have got business. So it's time for Jace to introduce himself. Meanwhile, Chubb and Whitaker discover a dead mask. It seems to be Anarchy. Having had more holes put into him than a block of Swiss cheese. And that is where the issue ends. Number 0 was a good solid start. I'm digging the Jace Fox Batman stuff. I really am. I really do hope that the character will be sticking around. After all, Marvel, you've got 2 Hawkeyes, you've got 2 Spider-Mans, 2 Wolverines. So why can't DC have 2 Batmans in present continuity at the same time, Also, a thought with that would be that you'd have one Batman dealing with more. One Batman could, you'd have one of the, Bruce or Jace could be in the Justice League while the other one is in Gotham. So that is all. To me, that's always been a thing with Batman. It's kind of like, maybe Batman, maybe Batman. It's like I get Batman being on the Justice League, but at the same time, like, maybe he shouldn't be as prevalent. But yeah, anyway, moving on to our next book, we've got Batman Urban Legends number 7. So this issue is going to be, well, a whole bunch of one-shots dealing with various future versions of Batman. We've got a Batman Beyond story, Wake, Batman 666, the executive game, Future State Batgirl in Hunter or Hunted, and Batman 1 Million in The Batman with No Name. Okay? So, starting with Wake. Okay, for those unaware of Batman Beyond, Terry McGinnis was a kid in Neo-Gotham, or was a teenager in Neo-Gotham. He ended up breaking into the Batcave, appropriated a high-tech prototype bat suit that was more high-tech, and ended up becoming, well, Batman, with Bruce Wayne basically being the voice in his ear. Anyway, so the story begins. Terry McGinnis is in the Batcave and he's found Bruce Wayne dying, bleeding to death. In fact, Bruce is dead. And something but Terry contacts a handful of people, his mom, Dana, Commissioner Barbara Gordon, his friend Max, lets them know, finds ways to let them know, maybe things aren't too great right now in Neo-Gotham. So he starts shaking trees, starting with the Maronis. want to know who killed Bruce Wayne. But turns out every family in Gotham got hit. And it seems that Gotham's at war, so Terry goes to the Wayne Powers building to talk to the new CEO, Philippe Ehrenreich, the interim CEO, cleaning up Derek Powers' mess. Terry explains that, as we've never met, this is how things are going to be. Ehrenreich hides in the office, confident that everything will keep them safe, but they won't. And so Terry talks about what's happened, wants to know what Ehrenreich knows. Apparently the Wayne Powers accounts are frozen. All of them. All across Neo Gotham. Banks, corporations, everyone's locked out. Legacy systems run back decades. A single entity taking control of everything is, it's not possible. But now, someone's contacting Terry. And he realizes that whoever this was is the person who killed Bruce Wayne, because they're on him through his ears, his earpieces, his comms, which connect to one place, the Batcave. There's an explosion. The office is blown up. Terry goes throughout Gotham, dealing with all manner of problems along the way. Turns out it's an AI called the Living Gotham, a superintelligence. Terry explains that it's all of Gotham City, a next level naturally occurring neural network linked together as a single mind. But he still did the villain monologue. And so, Terry initiates the blackout protocol. However, Living Gotham is taking control of one of the old bat suits. And so Terry has to basically fight old school Batman. But he succeeds, and the blackout goes. And Terry activates the blackout protocol, which destroys the cave and the manor. Turns out it's New Year's Eve. And Living Gotham is still there. But it's now time for things to change for Batman Beyond. As now, it's just Terry. And that is where the story ends. For now. April next year we'll be getting Batman Beyond Neo Year. So, yeah. Next up, we've got Batman 666 in the executive game. So Batman 666 is a future version of Damian Wayne, grown up to become Batman, made a deal with the devil. Yeah. But, so he's in the restricted zone of Gotham City. Tells a cat that follows him to stay outside. Goes in, deals with some of his various villains. Phosphorus Rex, the Weasel, Candyman, Jackanapes, Max Roboto, the Flamingo, Loveless, each one embodying one of the 7 deadly sins. When he gets to the top, though, he's confronted by Alfred, Dick, Bruce, and the cat, whose name is Alfred. But it's Alfred Grayson, Alfred Dick. Bruce, it's the devil, and well, Batman's there to bargain further. Got more time though, and however, elsewhere in the city, a woman finds what she thinks to be a survivor. He grabs her and pulls her into a cloak, and the survivor is revealed to be none other than the Joker. And that is where the story ends. Which brings us to our future state Batgirl story, Hunter or Hunted. Sandra Kane is wandering the alleys, trying to get some food, but she's set upon by the magistrate. And, well, she takes them on and leads them on a merry chase throughout the back alleys. Before being saved by an assist from Batman. And the two then swing off into the city. Which brings us to our final story, Batman with No Name. So, Batman 1 million. I don't know when the DC 1 million stories first came out, but they did various versions of the DC characters in the 853rd century. Batman is the warden of the prison planet Pluto. And he has Robot Robin the Toy Wonder, basically. So the story begins with a breakout at the prison. The four breaking out are the Reader, a mind-hijacking criminal from Kranaton 5 out to steal the universe's knowledge, Hollow Body, former vidcast actress turned living hologram embracing her monstrous side, Hades, the son of Vandal Savage and descendant of the Bane dynasty, the self-proclaimed king of Pluto, and finally, Cryo, a mutated scientist who can stop molecules, seeking a cure for her husband. So, they're making none of them actually think that Batman exists, except for Hades, who says, no, Batman does exist. But, one of the Robot Robins is dealing with the rest of the breakout, which is the, lower level prisoners. While Batman gets ready to deal with the four truly dangerous ones. Turns out his suit can change up how it has various builds that we change up on the fly. There's a Dark Knight mode to take down Hollow Body. Against Hades, he goes with Nightfall. Against Reader, he goes with Zeranar. Against Cryo, he's himself. Explaining that, hey, but you're trying to seek a cure for your husband. Okay, well, let's help you do that. And later, Batman had to spend a few days off world, but managed to get the stasis chamber holding Cryo's husband and necessary equipment. With Robin having recreated most of the lab there, Star Labs Galactic was happy to donate. Is apparently happy to donate more things as needed, just to keep Reader away from their librarians. And that is where the issue ends. I liked I really liked all the stories. I don't know. The Batman 666 one was all right. That particular Batman 666 first appeared in issue 666 of Batman, back during the Morrison run. But yeah, that was an all right one. I kind of like the little prologue to Neo Year, which yes, we will be covering when it comes out. And I'm always happy to see more Cassandra Cain, future state, what current, whatever. So yeah, again, Urban Legends, consistently is a consistently good title. So yeah, which brings us to our next book, Future State Gotham, #5, where we left off. Batman and Peacemaker Red were in the clutches of Warmonger. So the issue begins with the Arkham Knight, Astrid Arkham, dealing with Mad Hatter, or not Mad Hatter, White Rabbit, who, and yeah. But White Rabbit shoots Hatter. But yeah, they're there to talk. They're there to talk, or to talk business, I should say. Meanwhile, Warmonger is making Peacemaker Red and Batman fight, but they're able to. And it turns out that the meeting between Astrid and White Rabbit was in the past. Astrid is also a prisoner of Warmongers. She used Mad Hatter tech on her Arkham Knights, and well, they raided a magistrate facility and found a man who would become Warmonger. But turns out that Warmonger has basically turned Hatter Tech, has made Hatter Tech nanites, and the explosion that he blasted into Gotham sent them out into the air. So Peacemaker Red managed to get free of control, and he's trying to talk down Batman. And then he just pulls off his faceplate and sticks it on Batman, and well, clears Batman's mind. So they get out. Peacemaker Red calls in Magistrate Cybers. They deal with Warmonger's posse, but Warmonger manages to escape. But Astrid is left to the tender mercies of Victor's ass until one of the Cybers kicks his ass in the whole body. Batman and Peacemaker Red save Astrid, who basically the whole thing is her fault. That she and the Arkham Knights found Warmonger, but the magistrate went after them. Turns out that Warmonger was supposed to be was a prototype dubbed Super Cop Zero, Peacekeeper prototype, early candidate for what ultimately became the Peacekeeper program. Countless experiments made him stronger, more resilient, and faster than ordinary men. Results proved to be a total success and a total failure, because he was a psychopath. Nothing, didn't care anything for peace, only the casualties of total wars. Hero killing on a massive scale. Subdued and put away in cold storage because the magistrate would never kill a potential weapon. But she says that once Warmonger gets a hold of Asper's old armor, well, he'll have everything he needs to truly control the Mad Hatter tech that he let loose. And things. Duke Thomas meets up with Nightwing and gives a lowdown on what's going on. Batman and Bluebird are taking down Orca at the port, and of course, as seen in a previous issue, Punch-Out was taken down totally by a hunter, not Harley Quinn. But Tim Drake explains that Oracle has found both Batman and Jason and Peacekeeper Red on TV, where in fact Peacekeeper Red is bringing in Batman. And that is where the main story ends. We then get into the Circle. A crew of thieves meets with the Joker, who, he tells them to go, yes, go after this giant abandoned house. You'll find plenty of things there. This Wayne Manor, and, well, the thieves show up, Batman deals with them, takes them down easily, and the Joker is revealed to be none other than Alfred. And I don't know if it was intended to be a nod to one of the parts of Whatever Happened to the Dark Knight by Neil Gaiman, but if it wasn't intentional, it still serves a nice little nod to that. There was a story where it was revealed that all of the Bat villains were actually actors from an acting troupe that Alfred was part of, and that he was in fact the Joker. And this version of things, the Joker accidentally killed Batman. That is where the issue ends. Yeah, I am digging all the Future State stuff. I really am. The Future State Gotham book. It's had its iffy moments, but overall, it's a solid book. Moving on to our next book, we've got Batman '89, number 2. Where we left off, things were not looking good in the Gotham of Batman '89. Harvey Dent was vehemently against Batman, and seemingly the only allies Batman has are Alfred Pennyworth and Commissioner Gordon. So, and the city's also under military occupation, but Batman tries to save someone, and they get shot and fall from a fire escape, and sadly die. Barbara Gordon and Harvey Dent are experimenting with the tracking batarang when Batman Returns. It keeps seeming to hit Harvey, which Barbara finds to be quite amusing. A group of prominent Burnside residents meet up with Dent to discuss what's going on. Dent holds a rally in Burnside Park and wings a speech, but there are people out on the streets kind of dressed as Batman, and well, they're being jerks. They're the kind of people that see it as, this guy deals with Batman. He deals with those people in ways the cops won't. But the vigilante of Burnside runs into them as one of them is opposite to loot a store, stealing basically a PlayStation. Takes him down, leaves him takes the guy down, leaves him in the dumpster. We also got a Batman '89. Let's see, Dr. Q. I'm sure her first name is not Harleen. Not at all. But Bruce is having some issues with his previous outing. Harvey's getting calls from all manner of networks and political movement shakers about his speech. And Bruce Wayne wants to talk to him. And turns out Bruce has a crazy idea. Underwriting 4 years of GSU or trade or tech school for every child in every school-aged child in Burnside until he runs out of money, which he says won't happen for a while yet. After the meeting, Bruce hears an attack on here's something going down at the garage. Puts on a ski mask, grabs some batarangs, and runs into Selina. Who just dealt with a bunch of the bat thugs. And they've set the garage on fire. But it turns out that Drake is inside the garage. So Harvey goes to save him, but one of the cars in the inside explodes, knocking Harvey to the ground and knocking him unconscious as accelerant, as I presume gasoline a puddle of gasoline begins to form, getting ever closer to his face. And that is where the issue ends. Nice to see where our '89 Two-Face basically comes from. Anyway, that's going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.